All right, I'm looking forward to this next discussion because next week marks Mental Health Week, and BMO Walk So Kids Can Talk is helping to kick it off this Sunday. It's a fundraiser all in support of giving youth access to tools, advice, and listeners to mend mental health.
Joining us now for a look at what's in store are Jen Ewan, Group Head and Executive Vice President, People, Culture and Partnerships at Kids Help Phone, and Matt Ravita, Kids Help Phone Ambassador and BMO employee. Good morning to you both. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we were talking a little bit of break. I'm happy to say that the weather is looking more promising,
yes.
Which is such a great walk and such a great cause. So I'm happy for that. So let's talk a little bit about the walk.
It's such an important conversation to have as a mother myself. I know this is something that resonates with me. A lot of parents, the talk about mental health is something that is increasing. The numbers are staggering, shocking to be quite frank. Why is this walk so important? Why is Kids Help Phone so important for parents, but also for children?
Yeah, I mean, really, there's a youth mental health crisis happening across this country. But the benefit is that Kids Help Phone is equipped to be there for every single one of those moments. I always say Kids Help Phone, while we have national scope and reach, there is nothing more local than being able to reach out to someone supportive in the exact moment of what you're feeling and from exactly where you are. So being able to meet those moments are incredibly important as young people are growing up.
Mm-hmm. And post-pandemic challenges, I mean, I was reading that really hasn't dissipated. Your numbers are still right up kind of where they were at the worst of it. What are the main sort of issues, the main needs? Is it isolation? Is it depression? What kind of things do you deal with in general?
It's all the things. I think the reality of at Kids Help Phone is young people, it's a safe space for them to feel out loud about any issue possible. And so typically, a typical day at Kids Help Phone can be isolation, anxiety, suicide ideation, and we can meet them across that spectrum. And to your point about numbers, we've had 22 million interactions since 2020. And so we thought originally it would have been kind of that pandemic surge, but it's remained. So the conversation about mental health has changed in a positive way, and it's really enabled young people to know that the stigma is breakable, so to speak, and there is service and access wherever they are.
And I think that's the important conversation, Matt, is that, the stigma is there, but it is breakable, right? Change can happen. There are resources out there. And this is, we have the platform that we are able to raise these conversations and have people know it's okay if you need help. Reach out if you need help. I mean, I remember when I was younger, Kids Help Phone was such a talkable. And I think there's a certain age in a kid's life where their parents don't know as much and they do rely on their friends. But when they feel like they don't have an outlet, Kids Help Phone can be that outlet for them.
Yeah, actually, when I was 14 years old, Kids Help Phone was a service that essentially saved my life. My brother unfortunately passed away from an accidental overdose. And during that time, I actually had an own suicide attempt to myself. And I'm thankful that I'm here today telling my story because, as you said, it's a full circle moment to be here with you all today to represent, BMO and Kids Help Phone, because this walk is representation of the youth of the future. And as you mentioned, that numbers are staggering right now. There's a lot of comparison, social media that we are dealing with that kids never had to deal with 20, 30, 40 years ago. And my mom was someone who struggled with mental health, and she's not here with us today. And she always used to tell me that she wishes resources like Kids Help Phone or access to anonymous individuals 40 years ago was there, so she didn't have to battle demons for all those years because she had no family support.
I'm thinking about a kid maybe watching this and going, I'm struggling. What was it that you gleaned from that call that maybe will encourage someone to say, this is what I need, this is how I can?
I just felt like it was someone on the other end who wasn't going to judge me. There's statistics out there for sure, but one of the biggest ones for me was about 75% of kids who are actually using the service are telling people on the other line something they've never told anyone before. So as to your point about parents, right? Some of these kids out there are not able to feel comfortable talking to their parents, talking to their peers, to their friends, teachers even, right? So having that anonymity on the other end, not of the phone, things like that, I think is super important so kids and youth know it's out there.
The organization is doing some incredible work. Can we talk about the walk, which is this Sunday? It's an incredible walk with incredible turnout.
Yeah, and walksokidscantalk.ca, that will give you all the information. This is across Canada on Sunday. Is it Sunday specific or Sunday all across the country? Get involved. Let's raise some money. Walksokidscantalk.ca, all the information you need. And I'm doing my best to make sure that the
we will not hold you accountable.
To come through with the weather.
Thank you so much for being here with us, but it'll be a fun day and a really important day, regardless of the weather. So get onto that website. We will be back with more on CP24 Breakfast right after this. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us and making time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Make record money.
Let's
do it.
That's the goal.
Right?
That's the goal.